This video was made possible by Skillshare and viewers like you. Thank you. Have you ever thought about making a movie but realized, wow, I don't have a camera? Well, lucky for you, you have a phone. And Skillshare. Skillshare has tons of classes on filmmaking, including DIY filming, creating pro video with tools you already own by Mark Sersosimo, where you can learn to assemble the equipment you have, storyboard, and shoot your film, short film, or promo. The first 500 people who click the link will get 2 months of Skillshare for free. If you want to learn about filmmaking, writing, music, animation, use Skillshare. Skillshare is designed to be efficient, and it's designed for creative people like you and me. It's also super affordable, less than $10 a month. I use Skillshare, it's really easy and informative, and I love looking for videos on film and animation, duh, but I also look for videos on cooking and music and such. So like I said, the first 500 people who click the link in the description will get 2 free months of Skillshare Premium absolutely free. Thank you so much Skillshare for sponsoring this video. This video would not be possible at all without their support, and I would appreciate you checking them out. If you told me years ago that DC and Warner Brothers, the people behind Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad, would come around and produce 3 absolute bangers in a row, I wouldn't believe you. Warner Brothers seems to have learned a very important lesson, and it took them years to realize this. You don't have to be Marvel. In rushing to create a cinematic universe, Warner Brothers ended up creating cinematic disasters, at least in my opinion, and finally ended up where we are now, doing their own thing. What does doing your own thing mean? Boom, Shazam. Technically DCEU, but not really connected to it by much. It's its own self-contained story, and it's a total joy to watch, very reminiscent of the good old days, the early 2000s era of superhero films. A story that felt like it cared more about the character and their struggles than their superpowers. Boom. Joker, arguably the most controversial comic book movie of 2019. My opinion though is that it's rather good, but I'm more interested in the fact that Warner Brothers had the balls to do a Joker movie that doesn't have Batman, and is more interested in being a character study rather than a full-blown superhero comic booky explosion fest. And it could lead to creative, exciting films that are fully controlled by the director and not a committee. And then comes Birds of Prey, in my opinion, one of the biggest risks DC has taken in a while. Why? Not only is the main character Harley Quinn, okay, and it's after Suicide Squad, which was, you know, fucking terrible. And not just that, but the core cast is comprised entirely of women, the director is a woman, and the main antagonist is gay. So just that will sadly trigger a lot of people instantly. And not just that, it's rated R, which means no toys, less money at the box office unless you have a Joker-like hit. Again, I like to compare superhero movies to Marvel a lot. If I think to myself, would Marvel ever make a movie like this? And my answer is no. Usually then, the movie I'm comparing will instantly get my respect, because Marvel, with their solo films, at the moment, are playing it very safe. That's another reason that while I don't like Man of Steel that much and Batman v Superman that much, I respect the shit out of them because it's the director's vision. And we all know what happens when a director's vision is compromised. Yeah, that's right.
Like brunch. Like, what is brunch?
So back to Birds of Prey, I believe it is a total win for DC in 2 ways. The first way is that it's just a good movie. It feels like it's Cathy Yan directing this movie. This doesn't feel like Shazam, it doesn't feel like Man of Steel, it's its own thing, further adding to my belief that you should be able to note the distinct voice of the director when watching a comic book film that's part of a universe. But not only is the directing good, the writing is excellent as well. Christina Hodson, who wrote Bumblebee, wrote this film, and it just oozes character. The film takes the few salvageable parts of Suicide Squad and makes them shine like no tomorrow. Margot Robbie is even more magnetic in this film. She narrates the film. She carries the film with character moments that range from going all crazy and killing a bunch of people to being a completely broken person, not knowing what her place in the world is. We have Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who plays Huntress, a character that is incredibly competent, murderous, and intimidating, but is also awkward and almost aloof when not focusing on her personal vendetta. And of course, we have the character that steals the show in every single scene.
I want to kill you, because without the Joker around, I can.
Ewan McGregor as Black Mask is the best casting choice I've seen in so long, it's fucking incredible. The dude's presence is insane. He's always talking like this, and it's genuinely terrifying.
Whoa, wait!
What?
Don't kill me.
Right.
He is the best villain DC's had since, what, Joker? Bane? Probably Bane. And all other DCEU villains pale in comparison to this absolute king. The sass he has, the energy, the psychotic breakdowns he has makes Roman Sionis, Black Mask, one of the best comic book villains I've ever seen. No exaggeration. But where do these characters fit in? In the film, the characters are all absolutely broken. They're at their lowest points, essentially, and everyone is looking for, you guessed it, emancipation. So to be free from the confines that have shackled them for so long. Harley Quinn wants to find her place. She wants to be someone that is more than just Joker's girlfriend. There's a reason why the film begins with her pretending that she still is Joker's girlfriend, because she's still latching onto that safety, and as the film progresses, we see her come into her own. Of course, Harley Quinn is an asshole, and without Joker's protection, she's now open to attacks from people she's wronged. And it goes all John Wick from there. Speaking of John Wick, this film's fight choreography is off the chain. If you were impressed by this, imagine that, but with people. Yeah, the climax serves as the point in the film where these characters truly come into their own by coming together. The film doesn't really have a linear plotline, as the film, like I said, is narrated by Quinn and she's an unreliable narrator. So this works to the film's advantage, spacing out action sequences and making the film just so much more fun to engage with.
The playing of time, going back and forth, is really clever. It's really smart.
And like I said, it's fun. It's well paced, it's well written, but it's kick-ass women literally kicking ass, and as they kick said ass, their desires and ideals change.
With the relationship with Mr. J, there's still a lot there. Okay, what's Harley like when she doesn't have the comfort of knowing that Mr. J will take care of her?
The film makes every single character feel like a legitimate person with feelings and doubts and flaws. And I fucking love movies with flawed characters. In the literal hero's journey, the change from beginning to end is the protagonist either coming into their own or changing their beliefs as they've grown into an entirely new person based on the events of the journey. And the characters all change from beginning of the film to the end of the film, either coming into their own or changing who they are to become the best version of themselves, and I think that's wonderful. Alright, now remember how I said there's two reasons why this film is a win for DC? Well, reason two is, the film does not give a f**k about what superhero movies should be like. It's violent and colorful, and it doesn't spout anything about how there's superhero videos and emails, nor does Harley Quinn decide to jump in a pool to get visions of a big bad villain. There isn't even an after-credit scene. It is so much of its own thing that it even uses characters a tad loosely, even though they still feel like the comic book characters, except for Cassandra Cain, which I can totally understand people being upset about because it is a massive departure from the comics, one that I just went along with, but I mean, I can't deny it did bother me a bit. They should have just made Cassandra a new character or something, but even so, the amount of freedom they gave this film is what I like to see. Like I said, it's its own thing, and that's all it has to be. It's not what all films should be, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, DC is proving now, 3 times in a row, that blockbuster films don't have to be tied down to universes. They can be creative and different and heartfelt. Characters can change and characters can die without being afraid of how it affects a universe. And I know this sounds like I'm hating on Marvel, but I'm not. I'm hating the idea that all blockbuster films have to be part of sagas. They have to be leading up to something. They have to be films which lead to the massive ending of a journey. A movie can just be Birds of Prey. It feels like it's a movie that has a start and an end, that doesn't need a sequel necessarily, and that it feels like it's the vision of just one person.
Margot finds a way to ground her in a truth that I think we can relate to.
This movie owes so much to Margot. I mean, it really was her idea. She pitched it.
In this case, while Kathy Yan directed, it seems like it's Margot Robbie's vision. In Joker's, Todd Phillips. In Shazam's case, David Sandberg. And if we compare Birds of Prey to a Marvel film, this movie's not doing so hot. Meanwhile, Ant-Man and the Wasp gets millions upon millions of dollars and brings absolutely nothing new, but also brings nothing that even makes the film one worth remembering. But I sure as hell will remember Birds of Prey. So yeah, wow, the me from years ago would probably never say this, but here I am now. I'm expecting a home run, 4 for 4. Alrighty, chads, thanks so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Gotta thank all the patrons because you guys are really freaking amazing. I really appreciate you patrons a lot. I appreciate you Chads a lot. If you don't know what Chads are, we are the Chad Nation. A nation of people who all love good movies. And so, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, share the video if you can, and I'll see you all next time right on this table. If you didn't know, I am sitting on a table right now. Thank you.